Hi folks, welcome back for another adventure. So as promised in the intro video, we're putting in some time with this Jonway 110cc automatic quad, $50 Craigslist wonder. It has some decent bones. I mean, the brakes work, the plastics on it, I have a seat for it. So I decided to bring this back, and at the same time I could show you guys some of the wiring things that I'm always being asked about. We'll go through a carb rebuild and all the rest of it. The first thing you got to do is get the plastic off. Plastic is held to the body in a couple of different spots. 1, 2. They broke this one off. That one wasn't attached. Should be attached somewhere in the back also. That was also loose, so that wasn't too big a deal. You got to get the 4 bolts out of the handlebars. Pretty sure you guys could sort your way through that. If you undo the choke from the carburetor and unplug this, that loosens up one side of it. The other side, I actually had to take this off, and you can see they already snapped that off for me. If this isn't broken, you have to cut the grip off the handlebars and slide that out. You have a few connectors you have to unplug to make it so that you can take the plastic off. Do not forget to unplug the taillight from the back, or you're pulling up on it and you don't want to make the wiring any worse than it already is. So anyway, at this point you guys can see obviously I got the plastic off and I took the carburetor off. No big deal on the carburetor. You unplug that from the back of the air filter. These 2 bolts here, you have to obviously unscrew the slide from the carburetor, get the gas line loose, and the carburetor comes free. This has, the word I'm going to use is a sealed carburetor on that. What do I mean by that? Sealed carburetor has no heads on the screws. Right? I think you guys could see that right there where my finger is. So what you have to do is take your Dremel tool and cut slots in the screws. Wear eye protection, because God only gave you 1 set of eyes. And once you have slots in there, and I already loosened these, and by the way, it is kind of a fight to loosen them, so be prepared to, you know, push down hard and work at it a bit. This carburetor stinks. I mean, it is just one horrible, nasty smelling carburetor. So don't be too surprised. A lot of times you can buy a replacement carburetor for 20 bucks, right? Not a bad idea. Make sure you put the screws someplace where you're not going to lose them. Right. So my hand is better today, as you can see. I'm doing this left-handed. I'm not having too much trouble. 2 screws out, and that allows you to get into the carburetor. Right. That's what it looks like inside. Nice and nasty. So you take that off, wash that out. And you want to do it before it dries. You don't want to take this apart and like leave it to air dry, because when that air dries it gets pretty solid, right? You take the jets out. Once again, I pre-loosen these. No, life is not that easy with this. I actually had to put a 7mm and lean on this a bit to get that to come loose. The other guy, you want to use the right size screwdriver so you get good coverage on the brass. On the inside, these are, I mean, where the gas was left in the carburetor, they got kind of messed up, but really on the inside, they're not in horrible shape. I think this carburetor is going to come back. Not all of them do. Right, slide this out. Every once in a while I'll do something. I'll go to move this wrist a certain way, and you get the old stab of, remember you fell on me a week ago pain. Right, and once again, I'm using this box deliberately so I can capture all this. Lift it out, you can see the little needle valve on it. So once you get all that loose, right, by the way, that chunk of stuff there, I mean, all this has to get blasted out. I normally put the wand on the jet spray and blow it through all those holes. Then I got to get the air cleaner off of this and all. There's a couple of holes internal to the carburetor, particularly on the air cleaner side. You want to find those and clean them out. This obviously is a PZ19, and that's who made it. So I think that by cleaning up all this stuff and putting it back together again, it'll run. I was just looking at the wire harness here. Probably the first time I start this, I'm going to use one of my portable ignition systems, and then I got to go through this whole mess and sort through it and figure out a way to hook it up such that it runs. Yeah, there's the CDI for it. So a lot of times, and I've put videos up. I like to use the portable ignition because then I know I have spark. A lot of times you kind of fool around with the ignition system that comes with it, and you don't. If it doesn't start, or it starts and acts badly, you're kind of fighting with it. If you know you got spark, and you know you got a solid engine, and you know you just rebuilt the carburetor, and the carburetor should be good, if it starts and it doesn't run all that hot, once again, engine solid, right? You did the compression check, you made sure the valves weren't too tight, all that kind of stuff. And you know you got spark because that comes out of the portable CDI box right here under the pile. That only leaves the carburetor. So you go back and give the carburetor another look, or you replace it with one off of Craigslist, another PZ19, and all should be good. So that's the way I like to do it. Everybody does things their own way, but that's me. I do have an ultrasonic cleaner for these things. I'm not quite sure why I don't use it. I think maybe it's just a habitual thing. I kind of grew up without an ultrasonic cleaner, and I've been big on the small wire brushes and kind of blowing solvent through the holes and all. I guess it's worked well for me. That's why I don't use it. Once again, I do have it, and I could actually find it. I can tell you exactly where it is, which is not a bad thing for the horde. But yeah, it's just a habit. It's just different people do things different ways. Anyway, I'm gonna get this carburetor rebuilt now and get it back on here. Then I'm going to put the portable CDI box on it. So hopefully the next time you see this thing, it's running. You'll actually see it start up. So once we get it running, then I'll take a look at the wiring here and figure out what I'm going to do with that. Anyway, I hope everyone has enjoyed the video. Please remember to feet down, heads up, get out and enjoy each and every day. And if you liked this video, please let me know. And if you didn't, you know how to tell me that also. Bye now.